You know you've done earthworks right when you come down from upslope and you can't even see that they're in place. I'm Justin Hitt, and this is an update on the earthworks that were done here at the Sustainable Homestead Institute. Now, we didn't completely level off of this particular growing area because all we want to do is slow and stop water and give us a little bit more square footage. But here's an earthworks that was put in. You can start seeing it develop there. That basically is a earth berm that is designed to just terrace off the upper slope. You can see the cover crop is coming in on the side there. Remember in a previous video I talked about some of the challenges you're going to have with this slope. I'm going to go ahead and let the cover crop grow out, but next year we'll probably need to texture the slope, or in the spring texture the slope and put more grassy cover on this particular part. You can see the lower areas where the grass was, or the straw is. The grass is coming in really nice. And what we've done here is been able to create a shelf below the earthworks and a larger terrace above the earthworks. And you can see the dramatic difference between growing areas, and there's another earthworks coming along up top, but growing areas and the general access points. Now, the skill of the operator matters here, and we have a very skillful operator, and that he is able to cut so close to our contour line, because our contour line is actually right here on that edge there where the soil, there's no soil disturbance. So now if we had a lot of topsoil, we would have scraped the topsoil off and then returned it, but there's not that much topsoil here. It's Virginia red clay. So you can see how we've establishing some structure and support for the earthworks using what was already compacted soil, and then building on top of that our berm, which levels out the top area. Now, it doesn't really level it out completely. I'm not sure if you can notice the differentiation between the straw in the foreground and the green in the midground, but that green in the midground is a lower area on the slope because we do not want water to come down the hill and over this earthworks. But again, I just want to give you an update of what's going on and how well it's coming along. And then you can see the paths in between our growing areas are becoming more defined. But you can see in that patch over there how the slope is pretty steep, and as water moves across the slope, it will accelerate in speed, taking more soil with it. So structures such as this earthwork, and now this earthwork could be much taller. You know, we could have cut out this hill 4 feet, 5 feet, and build a much taller structure to get a level terrace out of here. But again, these are for demonstration, and we want to make sure we build something you could build at home. You could build this at home with a tractor or a mini excavator. You could build it with by hand with shovels and stuff. But just to show you what it's doing here, it's creating more of a level terrace up top for growing, and then a access point below it. And then the slope itself gives a little bit of a vegetative strip. And that vegetative strip is where we're growing mulch. Vegetative strip is where we're catching nutrients and where we're basically trapping carbon in the soil. Now, that soil is not going to be disturbed. That hill is going to remain clay, but above it, as we cultivate the soil biology, above it will actually be better retaining of nutrients. Now, one thing I did just notice here, I'm looking for patterns, and I do see a slight wash pattern right here. And I'm not sure if that's because of the tracks of the excavator or not. So I'll have to wait till the cover crop comes in. But the area in which you want to access your paddock area, your paddocks, needs to be wide enough to get a vehicle through in this case. And also when you have classes and stuff. But I think there might need to be an adjustment on this corner. This might be the high corner. Anyway, what I'm looking at here is a cover crop that's coming in strong. I've got differentiated access points for vehicles or for carts and such, and then a nice big giant paddock that's coming in together. Really nice with the cover crops to hold that all in place. And again, a good earthworks will be nearly invisible. It will have very little, it won't be that obvious. We don't need a giant mound down there. We're not building a dam. We're essentially turning this top area into a more level terrace. And then just one last tip before we go, you're not going to till all the way out to the edge of the terrace. Depending on how high the terrace is or the slope of the vegetative strip, that length of that slope is how wide you need to leave a bund at the top of your earthworks. So if your earthworks is 4 foot tall, you need a 4 foot bund at a minimum at the top to maintain its structural integrity of the earthworks while you're farming or building on it. So sometimes a bigger earthworks is not appropriate because it won't remain structurally sound. If you're going up 8 feet, you'd need an 8 foot deck on the top of that thing. And if you could lose so you will benefit by increasing the square footage of the paddock, but you lose usefulness of part of the paddock in order to maintain integrity of the earthworks itself. So just something there to remember. Again, if you have any questions about this, ask in the comments below. I know a lot of folks are hesitant of renting a piece of equipment. It could be $2,500 a day, $2,500 a week. The time and effort it goes into this. That's why we do the demonstrations. That's why we show you what's possible. And that's what we're here for. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you ask your questions. Again, I'm Justin Hitt from Prosperity Homestead on site at the Sustainable Homestead Institute. There'll be a link in the description below, and you can sign up for classes, all that jazz. Thanks for watching.